G'day viewers, like me, you might be wondering, why is the WA government spending $100 million on building this causeway, cyclist and pedestrian bridge? And you consider that $100 million on just one project is about triple what the New South Wales government currently spends per year on active transport. Look, but I do think what the WA government wants is something like the Madagarra Bridge, which I'm showing here, which they opened a few years ago. They want a statement. But they got off on the wrong foot this week where they failed to invite the Lord Mayor to the opening ceremony. He didn't get a shovel and get to turn a sod over, which, they should have invited him, but they didn't. Politics. But here's the existing bridge, the causeway. This is a two-part bridge with an island in the middle. You can see they built it by putting some concrete piers in the river and then laying big steel beams over the top and putting a deck on top. And it's been like this for, 80 years or so. But it's completely inadequate for cyclists and pedestrians. And I think I don't know whether over the years they widened the road section and pinched a bit of path, but this is a pretty narrow path and it's a terrible, terrible surface. It's not quite as narrow as the Gladesville Bridge, for instance, but it's quite close. And I'm always worried when I ride across it that I'm going to clip my handlebars either on the sides here or on another person coming the other way. It's not good. And I actually avoid riding over it as much as possible. I had to make a special trip to take this footage because I just go elsewhere if I possibly can. But this is one of the main arterials into the CBD, and as you can see, it gets a reasonable amount of foot traffic and scooters and bikes. And look, this is a completely terrible data collection exercise, but I did go back and have a look at the video to see, well, what was the breakdown between e-scooters and bikes? And I was surprised that there were 6 e-scooters and 7 bikes just in this quick survey. Like I said, this is not scientific. If I was going to do this properly, I'd need to park myself on the side of the path here for some time in the morning or the evening during the rush hour and just film how many people are going past and count it up and blah, blah, blah. Because I think the bike counters just count wheels. So I don't know if a bike counter can differentiate between a skateboard, an e-scooter, or a bicycle. You need to actually eyeball it to do that. But 6 out of 13 were on e-scooters. That's quite an incredible market share, isn't it? Although it's a completely terrible statistical gathering exercise. But I do wonder if people are going with e-scooters because they're nice and narrow and that you don't have the worries of clipping someone coming the other way if you've got narrower handlebars. Or it's possible that these people just live within, say, a kilometre or two of the bridge, and using an e-scooter is just a much more effective way of getting into town than jumping on a bike because, face it, standing on an e-scooter in work clothes with maybe a little backpack on is pretty damn simple, and all you really need to do is put a helmet on and off you go. Whereas, if you're coming a lot longer distance on a bike, you may want to dress specifically for it and have a shower when you get to the other end, unless, of course, you're on an e-bike. But also think about the difference in price between an e-scooter and a good e-bike. You can pick up an e-scooter for, $1,000 or something, but a reasonable quality e-bike can cost you several times more. And yeah, look, I know you can get $1,000 e-bikes from Aldi every now and again, but if you're going to use that for commuting short distances every day, would you maybe want something a little bit better? Anyway, I don't know. But, my main point is this is a terrible flippin' path at the moment over the causeway. It's really good it's being replaced. We can argue about whether we need a whoopie-doo fancy bridge that costs $100 million to do that or not, but I do think the government is after a gateway statement. They want to be able to take photos of this and put it on brochures and, all that kind of thing. And it'll certainly deliver on that. Now, it's going to take over a year or two, I guess, to build this thing, so I'll be taking footage of this for some time into the future.